Sports. Young men look to the future because they've got no past. Old men look to the past because they've got no future. My family wasn't very sports oriented, but as a child, I enjoyed playing all the sports: baseball, football, basketball, and of course, even golf, a sport that I could carry on into my adulthood.
Birdie putt for Jerry Fife. Oh, nice!
Pickleball's my game of choice now. As you get older, your athleticism and physical abilities decline. I can't run or jump like I used to. I can't even hit a golf ball near as far. And it can get somewhat discouraging when you go out and play a sport and you know what you used to be able to do and you no longer can do it. I didn't start playing pickleball until I was in my 60s. So, unlike every other sport I was playing, my abilities actually started to improve. It wasn't that I was getting stronger or more athletic, I was just refining and improving my skills. But as they say, Father Time is undefeated. Most studies agree that there's a decline in your sporting performance beginning in your 30s, continuing to your 60s, with an exponentially decline beginning at 70. In pickleball, I quickly achieved above a 4.0 rating. But the demographics of pickleball was changing, and it was mostly younger people playing now. And before long, I was competing against people in their 20s and 30s. And that 4.0 rating, as I got my duper summary for the year, showed that I'd gone from above a 4 down to basically a 3.5 level. So unfortunately, the one sport that I felt that I could improve in, I was now also declining in. But I'm still able to enjoy it and compete and be competitive. And that's one of the things that sport's about, is challenging yourself, an opportunity to socialize with friends, and get some exercise. There's me as a youth. And that's one of the things that kids don't get much anymore is exercise, because they're inside playing their video games, watching TV. This is how I grew up, outside, chasing animals, swimming in the pool, riding my bike, playing with friends. And, of course, we did crazy things that, I don't know, surprising our parents to let us do this, but I think my dad's filming it, and that's me getting ready to jump off. Yeah, that's a good thing for a young kid to do. I can see the older guys doing it, but that's up in Canada at my grandparents' house, and that's what we do. Just enjoying being active. And of course, we always like watching them backwards. But let's go a little farther backwards. Yep, that's me. I used to have long blonde hair. And that's the thing you don't recognize when you see an old bald fat guy, that they once were young, that they once were much different, that they had hopes and dreams. That old broken down man or woman you see, they may have been a war hero. They might have been a movie star, a sports legend. You just never know. Just like my dad probably didn't know that he'd be cutting my hair for the next 60 years. Of course, now I just basically shave it all off, can do it myself. And there's not that much to cut since I'm half bald. But this was how it all started, and I used to always enjoy watching my first haircut. And of course, we loved watching it play backwards, and my dad would actually put the hair back on me. But unfortunately, we can't go back in time. But that's why we take videos and movies, so we can go back in time in our memory easier and see how things used to be. One of the great benefits I had growing up was that we had a pool. So I learned to swim at an early age. That was my sisters, Marjorie and Beverly. There's Calvin, and here's Roger. That's Richard almost falling in. Maybe he did. They started over. There's Ruth. As a kid, I'd ride my bike in the summer, get hot, jump in the pool, jump back on the bike in the wet clothes, and just keep going. That was my way of cooling down. But all those things developed muscle, balance, and helped me as I got into high school decide to be a pole vaulter. This was me as a freshman, and you got to remember that it was only a decade before where they just had steel poles. Fiberglass poles were just coming out. But I wasn't strong enough yet to bend the pole or be much of a pole vaulter. You can tell the early days, you see those big mats that they had, completely different than what they have today. Of course, it wasn't long before this, when you pole vaulted or high jumped, you were just jumping into sand or sawdust. So it's still a big improvement. Another interesting note is that when I was in high school was when women or girls first got the opportunity to compete in track also. But they couldn't or weren't allowed to pole vault. And it would be another 25 years before women would be able to pole vault in the Olympics. I continued on in track at Glendale Community College for 2 years, but unfortunately, I don't have any videos of when I actually became a good pole vaulter. I also high jumped on my high school track team, and after my junior year, I also started to long jump. There's my mom and my sister, Beverly. My dad's taking the video, one of the few track meets or sporting events they ever attended. So I'm grateful to at least have a little bit of video back when I was a young kid in high school. I high jumped doing the Western roll, but right around this time was when the Fosbury flop became famous, going over backwards. Completely new from how it used to always be done when they did the roll like I just did there. I was always a good athlete, but never a great athlete. The highest I ever high jumped was 6 feet. Pole vault, 14 feet. Farthest I ever long jumped was just over 20 feet. Well, these are all good marks. They're not great marks, even for high school. So, in college, I also decided that I would do the decathlon. Unfortunately, in the conference meet is the only time that they conduct that event. So I only got to do it once in the year. And unfortunately, I no-heighted in the pole vault. It's supposed to be my strongest event. Of course, the greatest decathlete on my day was Bruce Jenner. Who would have guessed how that would have turned out? This is Richard and I in Galveston. Yep, one time I was a thin, skinny guy with hair. Just hard to believe. And there's my sister Marjorie. And for those that wonder why I eat so much cereal, this was Christmas morning. What would my parents get me? Cereal. That way they wouldn't have to spend so much on it the rest of the year. I was a senior in high school now, and I believe this is the Christmas I got my first real camera. There's Calvin. Looks like he's taking a close-up. And here's one of the pictures he took. Me in my Letterman sweater. There's me in my college track outfit. Yep, red and white. After that, it was things like the Grand Canyon State Games and softball. And, of course, golf, where I got to compete. At golf tournaments, they often took pictures, so I have photos of a number of different golf tournaments. But the other thing we used to do is basketball. Just get together in the gym, mix up teams, and play hoop. That's me with the rebound dribbling out. I pass it to Jeff, and he makes a basket. Now it's Bob, checking it from out of bounds. Game to 11, makers at 3 typically. I think when we play at the park, we didn't do makers at 3. Shots from the 3-point line were worth 2 points, everything else 1. Once you hit 11, shoot for new teams. And here's the new teams we got to stay on. And as you'll see from the graphic, there's Bob shooting, but we win this game 11-0. And we used to be pretty good shooters, but this was exceptional as we didn't miss a shot the whole game. They miss, we get the rebound, and Bob had already made a 2, so there's 3, so now it's makers, and we get the ball. Now Jeff has it, he shoots another 2, now it's 5-0. The stomp is on. I might as well get in the action, I shoot a 2, 7-0. The stomp continues. Here's Bob again, flips it to Jeff. He did miss a shot, but he was fouled, so it's still our ball. 7-0. I get loose, get an easy layup, 8-0. That's Josh, Jeff's son. He's a little frustrated. Went for the steal, but just knocked it out of bounds, so it's still our ball. Bob brings it in to me. I believe that makes it 10-0, and we're yet to miss. Great thing about makers, you can get on a run. This time Bob throws it into Jeff. Jeff passes it to me. I fake a pass, dribble around, shoot a free throw jumper. 11-0, and they're shooting for next. We also played at the park quite a bit. This happens to be in Canto Park. And while we generally played at Rose Mofford, we'd go to just about any park to play. I think I'm the only white guy out there. Don't have my normal crew on this day, and I don't have any video from our games at Rose Mofford. But when we had Bob, Jeff, Tom, and I, we were a pretty solid team. They used to call us Team Mofford. When we were still in our 40s, we used to beat just about everybody. Guys on the sidelines would be laughing at their buddies getting beat by us. Then they'd come in and then we'd beat them. Always a great time. Of course, sometimes we had to hold Bob back from getting in a fight. But we played until we were about 60. And then COVID hit, and that's what drove us to pickleball. They closed all the basketball courts, and Tom had a pickleball court in his yard so we could play there. Gave us something to do. That was one of the toughest things about COVID, is you couldn't be around anyone. They implemented curfews, they closed the parks. Just a miserable time. But in this game, looks like I just made the game winner. Game's over, shoot for new teams. Those are racquetball courts behind the basketball courts. And racquetball boomed in the late 70s, and I played it all the time. But now it's mainly golf, basketball, and softball. But I think that is a photo of the last time I played golf. Here's back in the day again. Golfing and pickleball partner, there's Bob legging out a double. I think that's Jeff. Not really sure, but that's me. Like to hit to all fields, and oftentimes right fielder would play up, so you had a chance to hit it over their head. Just what I did on that occasion. And I wish I could still run like that. Around the bases for inside the park home run. We played in basketball leagues all around. Park and rec leagues, church leagues, anything, anywhere, anytime we could play. I always enjoyed playing basketball. And that doesn't count a couple nights a week out at the park. But there, passed to me, I shoot a little baseline jumper. There's my golfing buddy that I grew up with, Jim Nout. And I don't know if you can call it a sport or not, but even don't mind going bowling. And there's my daughter. Got her spare. Here's me. Let's see what I can do. Well, not much good. So, I guess you say I don't bowl very often. And I could tell it wasn't good. Shook my head. Let's see if I can pick up the spare. And fortunately, boom, I get it. And who would I be bowling with? Well, you probably guessed it. The Gosses. There's Bob. Let's see how he does. Form didn't look that great, but there's a strike. Now my daughter's up again. And I don't know how old she was here, but she pleads with me not to take her picture. But now she's grateful I have a few old pictures of her. There's Jeff's son, Josh. There goes Danny. It looked like it was a good shot, but she doesn't care, and, well, we can't see it. Here I go again. It's looking good. Oh, left one pin. Typical. And can I get the spare again? You guessed it, I got it. And who's up next? That would be Jeff. So, as you can tell, we've been playing a number of different sports for 20 plus years. Even wiffle ball. I played in softball leagues from my teens till around 60. Well, it was fun. It's a little different than baseball. Baseball, you have the fast pitching, harder to hit. And when we heard about this wiffle ball league, we thought, hell, that looks like a lot of fun. You only need 4 people on the team. So, Bob, Jeff, Tom, and I makes for a good team. And you don't throw the ball to first. If the pitcher gets the ball at the pitcher's mound before you reach first base, it's an out. That was Tom that was batting, and now his brother Jeff. In Major League Baseball, the pitching mound is 90 feet away. In wiffle ball, it's only 35 feet. So even though you can't throw the ball as hard, being so much closer and the movement you can get on that ball makes it hard to hit. Next up to bat is Bob. And the way you call balls and strikes is there's a board right behind the batter. If the ball hits the board, that's a strike, or if the batter swings. If it doesn't hit the board, it's a ball. But like baseball, it's really a game about pitching. The better your pitcher, the better your odds of winning, because there's always a lot of strikeouts. This is the next inning, and now I'm up to bat. Let's see if I can do any better. Foul ball, they run after it, couldn't catch it. The base paths in wiffle ball are 45 feet. And the outfield fence is generally around 120 feet. You can actually throw the ball at the player to get them out. If the ball hits them while they're running from like first to second, that's an out. And I got hold of that one. It's a home run. Just touch first base and you don't have to run the bases. Sometimes, in addition to the Goss brothers, we have another player. This may be John. We used to have ping pong tournaments over at John's house. He used to play in some of the basketball leagues and played golf with us. And John's a good athlete, but might be hard to tell from this. Gets a nice hit, running to first. He goes down. They get the ball to the pitcher's mound before he makes it to first. Tom's up again. And when you pitch, you just have basically a bucket of balls there. You just keep throwing them, and then when you're out of balls, you have to collect them and put them up by the pitcher's mound again. Unfortunately, the camera's just sitting on a tripod, so it doesn't catch the whole field. There, Tom legs out a single. And next up is Jeff. The videos really aren't fair because you kind of judge a player based on just a handful of at-bats. In this case, what kind of batter is Jeff? I should mention that Jeff's our pitcher. Pitches a majority of the innings. Bob sometimes will pitch a few. Doesn't throw as hard, but he throws a nice knuckleball and can get a lot of movement with that wiffle ball. But like I say, in this case, Jeff strikes out. But the next game, I think he went 5 for 5 with 5 home runs. So what's the best representation of his skill? Probably somewhere in the middle. And now Bob's up. Bob played college baseball. Great athlete. And that's one of the things we really like about wiffle ball, is just getting to see that live pitching again. But you don't have the fear of getting hit by the ball because it's just a wiffle ball if it hits you. But it's a lot of fun. Most of the really good teams in wiffle ball had a pitcher that had pitched in college. Definitely an advantage. Now we're in the field, and this is Jeff pitching. And you'll see that their team doesn't have much more success than our team. There it is. Strike 2. Let's go for strike 3. Strike three. Again, if you hit that board in the back, it's a strike, or if they swing. If you miss that board, it's a ball. You can see Jeff just mowing down the side. Looks like a foul ball. That'd be strike two on him. Let's see if he can get another strikeout. Strike three. 2 for 2. Let's see if he can strike out the side. Depending on which way you put the holes in the wiffle ball, you can make it curve right or left, up or down. It's just extremely difficult to hit at times. And there looks like strike three. I'm not sure what happened in the video, if I skipped an inning or what, but looks like Jeff's pitching to another batter. Sometimes it's hard to follow what's going on when the camera's just stationary. But struck him out, and it looks like we're now going into bat. It looks like I'm up. I think I hit a home run my last time. Let's see what I can do this time. Nice looking swing. Fields it, not cleanly, doesn't get it to the pitcher in time, so I'm safe on first. Now Tom's up. Well, Tom thought he was up, but he's not. John's up to bat. If you recall last time, he didn't quite make it to first. Nice looking swing. Excellent golfer. Tell that swing. He's also an excellent racquetball player. Just one of those sports that used to be big and just isn't that big anymore. Now Tom's up to bat. I've heard that the leading cause of injury to old men is them thinking they're young men. The movie Moneyball, which starred Brad Pitt as Billy Bean, who was the general manager of the Oakland A's, was originally filmed in Phoenix. I used to manage Phoenix Municipal Stadium and also the practice facility where the Oakland A's trained for spring training. They practiced at the Papago Baseball Park and then held their games at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. But in that movie, there was a line. We're all told at some point in time that we can no longer play a children's game. We don't know when that's going to be. Some of us are told at 18 and some of us at 40, but we're all told. I remember when I was in my early 20s going down to Chicken Park, play basketball, racquetball, more basketball. I remember seeing the old guy that's like 45, maybe 50, and thinking, man, I hope I can still come out and play when I'm that old. And fortunately, I think I surpassed it. Because I played softball leagues till I was about 60, played basketball at the park till I was 60. Then, thanks to pickleball, I still get the opportunity to compete. And I can even compete and play against players much younger than me. Looks like I've come up with the bases loaded. Time for Grand Slam. You know, I've hit the game-winning basket in basketball. Don't know if I've ever had a Grand Slam. Could this be the time? Swing and an out. Left the bases loaded. I guess this wasn't the time. We may not always make the big play, but it's a privilege to just have an opportunity. Now here's Jeff pitching again. I think I'll cut this game short as he makes another strikeout and jump to Jeff's spectacular game. Here he is at bat. First at bat, home run.
Daniel, your turn.
Yep, that's the way to start off the game. Give him a high five. Now Bob's up to bat. Now I'm up to bat. Got a hit.
Stay there, stay there. All right, Sean. All right, Sean. Wait for somebody else here.
And another player we sometimes recruit, Sean, who works for Jeff. Great golfer. Jeff and Michelle and I went to Alaska. Sean also went with us. Great fishing trip.
Go, go. Go, Jerry, go, Jerry. Stay there, Sean.
Looks like he got a hit. Bases loaded again. Tom's up. Let's see if he can do better than what I did. He hits it. Base hit. I come in and score. Looks like we batted around this inning, so Jeff's up again. Still the first inning. Gives him a high inside pitch. Brushback pitch. That didn't look like much of a swing. Can't tell if that was a strike or not. Didn't come back, so it probably didn't hit that board. There it is. Home run. Is that a grand slam? I can't remember how many people were on base. Unfortunately, the camera angle doesn't show it. Now Bob's up. It's funny, I said before that we've been playing together for 20 years. And it's actually been longer. Bob's safe at first because the pitcher dropped the ball. Now I'm up. Looks like a pop-up. And we're moving to the outfield. Look who we have pitching this time. It's Bob. That's me in left field trying to run that ball down. Doesn't look like I made it. Bob throws a mean knuckleball, and he can definitely put some movement on that wiffle ball.
Nice one.
I think he hit it to me and I caught it. So, batter's out. There's Michelle, Jeff's wife.
All right, Bob, you're ahead of him.
She brought him some ice, has to ice that arm from hitting those 2 home runs, or from all the pitching he's done. Or maybe it was just a drink of water. Guess I'll never know for sure. It's funny. Now, Jeff and Michelle, instead of watching Jeff play, they go watch the grandson play. I've even had the opportunity to watch my grandson play baseball. Fun experience. Hits it to me. I grab it, throw it to Bob. Pitcher's mound before he reaches first. Looks like we did it again. The runner's out at first. Now we're up to bat again.
They didn't get anything.
Bob did pretty good. They hit him, but it's right to
Looks
Jerry.
like Sean's up.
The one that Jerry just missed was.
Must have hit the board because it came back out forward. Just like that one. Puts it in play.
Boy, Sean.
Now Tom's up. Being a lefty, we always complimented our basketball teams. We played together for so many years. I call it synergy. The sum of our parts was definitely greater than the individual parts. As we beat teams where individually each one of them was better than each one of us. Look at there's Jeff again. Another home run. 3 for 3, 3 home runs. Tom and Jeff were both wrestlers.
It's right over the fence.
Remember
Come on.
if Tom was state champion, or,
Okay, Kelsey, hurry.
but I know he placed in state at the minimum. When we play basketball, him and Jeff pushing on the big guys inside, running around, being left-handed. Jeff was great with either hand. Bob could hit any shot from anywhere. And in my prime, I was a pretty solid shooter as well. And I had a lot of quickness and could jump. Could usually get a shot off against about anyone. But as I got older, driving to the basket was definitely reduced. More jump shots, outside shots, set shots. Looks like I just hit a foul ball home run. As you get older, you have to kind of change your routines. You prioritize rest and recovery periods. It's important to stretch. Try to maintain some flexibility. They say B vitamins are good as an energy boost for older people, particularly B6 and B12. Of course, vitamin D as well. How do you get vitamin D? The best way is being out in the sunshine. Okay, here's your sports trivia questions. What's the most popular participation sport? I'll give you half a second. Your half a second's up. Did you guess soccer? Well, soccer's the most popular participation sport in the world. Next question. What's the most popular participation sport in the United States? When I Googled it, I got basketball. Also seen golf right up there. So I'll give you credit for either answer. And now, your third trivia question. What's the fastest growing sport in America? And I'll give you a hint. It's been fastest growing sport in each of the last 4 years. If you guessed pickleball, well, you would be correct. Pickleball's had over a 300% increase in participation in just the past 3 years. Looks like Bob's out there pitching again. With all Jeff's home runs, I'm sure we're well ahead. Here's a question. Why do you enjoy sports? For me, I like the competition, I like getting exercise, and I like the social aspect of it. Doing something fun with your friends that's good for you. A lot better than some of those guys at work that just go to the bar after work. You get the social aspect, and it may be fun, but it's not good for you. If you're old and you haven't played any sports, you might want to just start with walking. Walk around your block. Then advance into hiking. Make it a little more challenging. Then you might think you're too old. But my brother Richard, who never played a competitive sport in his life, never ran a race, at the age of 72 or 73, decided he was going to run the 1,000-stair climb in Bisbee. I can barely climb 1,000 stairs, let alone run it, and he decided at his age to run in the race. I think his daughter had something to do with it. But surprisingly enough, he hiked and ran his mountain near his house. On the day of the race, he was ready. And he did that 1,000-stair race with over 1,000 people and finished 323rd and third for his age group of 70 to 75. There's Jeff, 4 for 4. 4 at-bats, 4 home runs.
Hold it.
This is a picture of Richard with his wife holding his medal for 3rd place. And I guess that's another reason to play sports. Makes you look better. In 2022, Americans spent over $28 billion in surgical cosmetic procedures. Americans spend another $33 billion annually on weight loss products. We've all heard the saying regarding putting lipstick on a pig. Well, the meaning is it doesn't make the pig look any better. And the same's with humans. If we want to look better, be active, play sports, stay healthy, eat well, lose weight, and you'll look better than if you put a little lipstick on. We've discovered the fountain of youth, and it's exercise and a good diet. And the truth is, you don't even have to be fanatical about it. Just get a little more exercise and maybe try to eat a little bit better. It'll help.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Come on, easy, Jeff, easy. No go, no go. Yeah, good up.
All right.
Two.
It's going again. We need a couple more.
Lefty.
Shot. Go three. Scored, Bob!
Stay there, Bob, stay there.
Alright, Jeff, here we go!
Well, Jeff's up. He's 4 for 4 with 4 home runs. What will he do in his 5th and final at bat?
Come on, Jeff. One and two.
They almost went after that.
One and two. All right, Jeff.
He did it. 5 for 5 and 5 home runs.
Get up. No, it's not. Barry Bonds, man. It's almost didn't make it.
Hi, Daddy.
Almost.
Hit it.
Oh, you can do it, you can do it.
Ball like you, Jeff. I see it.
Too fast.
Oh, got to play on it. Oh, take a little kid out. Oh.
He's going to be trying to pull it now.
Dad.
No walks for hit batter.
Stay there, Bob. Stay.
Dad. Are you done?
Thanks, sweetie.
Nice shot. Stay there, Bob.
Yeah!
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
Look at her beer
You're
smash.
just jogging down to first. Thinking. I can only do that. That's only one.
I was thinking it was stuck in the fence. You couldn't get it.
You haven't been out?
Yep, apparently I was thrown out. Got the ball into the pitcher's mound before I made it to first. If I could run that fast now, I'd feel good, but back then that wasn't good. We won the game and left us with lasting memories. Good memories, so get out there and do something, even if you look kind of odd. I'm just thankful that I've had good friends and been able to play sports for all these many years. A lot of different activities, a lot of different sports. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Get out there before you're not able to. Take care.